Hey y'all, when you're hosting a football party, the first thing everybody wants to know is where are the snacks. So I'm going to show y'all 3 yummy dips that you can make to please your whole crowd. So the first one we're going to make is spinach and artichoke dip. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. Then you're going to need 1 block of softened cream cheese. And make sure that you set it out and let it get soft, y'all, because you got to stir this by hand. And cream cheese is hard enough to stir even if it's soft. So just make sure that it's soft. Then you're going to add in 1/4 cup of sour cream, and I had light sour cream. You can use whatever kind you want. And I know in a lot of recipes you can substitute Greek yogurt and sour cream like interchangeably. So I have not tried it with Greek yogurt, but if you try it, let me know how it comes out. So then we're going to add 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, and don't judge me on my mayonnaise brand because growing up, that was my daughter's favorite, so that's what I've always bought. And I don't really eat mayonnaise. I'll cook with it sometimes, so it is what it is. Anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1/4 cup of sour cream. Then you're going to add about 1/4 cup of grated parmesan cheese. Now, obviously, you see I did not measure that, but feel free to measure yours if you want to. Then I added in a little less than a tablespoon of garlic because I love garlic, but then I thought I don't want it to be overwhelmingly garlic. So a little less than a tablespoon. Then you're going to need a can of artichoke or a jar of artichoke hearts and 10 ounces of frozen spinach. Now for my artichoke hearts, I drained them and then I chopped them up so you would have little bite-sized pieces because you don't want the whole huge thing when you bite into a dip, right? Then for my spinach, I let it thaw out and then I put it in a real fine strainer and I just smushed it until I got all the liquid that I could out of it because you don't want this to be runny, and frozen spinach is very, very watery, so make sure that you squeeze as much of the water out of there as you can. Okay, then you're going to add about 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. Don't that look about like a cup to y'all? Looked about like a cup to me. But again, what do I always say? You can't have too much cheese. So feel free to measure it. I'm going to put measurements down in the description box, but I'm telling y'all, but do as I say, not as I do, because y'all know I kind of go off the rails sometimes. So then we're going to I just used a pie plate. You can use about like an 8x8 pan would be perfect for this. So I just sprayed it real good because we got a lot of cheese in here, so we don't want it to stick. So spray your pan real good, and then we're going to put our mixture right over into our pan. Then all you're going to need to do is just kind of smooth it out to where you get a pretty even layer because you don't want it to end up, with cold spots in your dip if it's uneven. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So just smooth it out good, and then you're going to sprinkle just a tiny bit more Parmesan and mozzarella right over the top. And like I said, with cheese, y'all, especially when you're topping something with cheese, just do however much you want. You can see I didn't do a whole lot because we already had a lot of cheese in it, but I wanted to have just a little bit because I wanted it, to be nice and brown when I baked it. So you're going to put this in the oven, 350 for about 30 minutes or until all your cheese is good and melted. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. Now, like I said, I like mine with a little color on my cheese. If you don't have to cook it as long. We're just pretty much warming this through and melting the cheese. Okay, so the next dip that we're going to make is crack chicken dip. So what I did was I took 2 chicken breasts. You're going to need about 2 cups of cooked chicken. So you can use a rotisserie chicken, whatever kind you have will work just fine. I just took 2 chicken breasts out of the freezer, seasoned them up, boiled them, and then I, kind of shredded them a little bit to get all the little pieces of fat and gristle and all that off of them. And then I chopped them up because you don't want big hunks of chicken in this dip because it is a dip. You're using chips, and you don't want half a chicken breast when you dip 1 chip into it. And y'all, I don't know how in the world I managed to do it, but I did season all of these dips with garlic, onion, salt, and pepper, but I didn't show any of that. So just season to taste. It's not any kind of measurement on that. Just season it, to however you like it. Okay, so 2 cups of chopped chicken. Then we're going to add in some bacon. Now, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 for this one. So what you're going to need is about 1 cup of chopped bacon. I just cooked a whole pack of bacon because, I mean, who cooks half a pack of bacon? You might as well cook it all while you've got it out, right? So I cooked the whole pack, and then I just cut up what I thought I wanted in my dip. Now, like I said, the recipe is going to say 1 cup, but you just add however much bacon you want to put in there. If you want to put the whole darn pack in there, then honey, you put that whole darn pack in there, and we will not judge you, okay? All right. So then clean your mess up. I had, Lord, bacon and chicken everywhere. So, all right, now to this we're going to need an 8-ounce block of softened cream cheese, and again, make sure that it is soft or you're never going to get this mixed up. Then we're going to need 1 packet of ranch seasoning. Now, I don't have the packets usually. I have the big containers, obviously, as you can see. So I just sprinkled what looked like about a packet to me. You do however you need to do it for yours. Okay, so then we're going to add in 16 ounces of sour cream. So this is a 16-ounce container, so I'm just going to dump this whole container over in there. And again, I had the light sour cream, but you can use whatever kind of sour cream you have, whatever kind you want, okay? So then we're going to add in some cheese because you can't have a dip without cheese. So we're going to add in excuse me, y'all, 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Now, if you don't have cheddar and all you have is Colby Jack, then add your Colby Jack. If you like sharp cheddar better than mild cheddar, then honey, you add your sharp cheddar right over in there. Just, you need about 2 cups, or however much you want to dump in there like I do. So just dump it in there, and then you're going to mix that up really, really well. And look, I started out with that little spoon, y'all, and I don't know what I was thinking, because between the chicken and the cream cheese, it was so thick in there. It gets real thick, y'all. This dip is real thick before you bake it. So use a big enough spoon. Don't do like I did. Okay, so you're going to make sure that you spray your pan, and this is an 8x8 pan, but you can use whatever kind you want. But it fit right in this one real good. So then you're just going to spoon your mixture, and you see how thick it is, but don't worry about that. It's not going to be that thick when you get ready to eat it. Once you heat it up, you know, of course it's gonna get a little thinner once it gets warm. You know what I'm saying? So just like with our other one, we're just going to spoon our mixture right over into our pan, and then we're going to get it evened out as good as we can. And then, of course, we're going to add a little more cheese on top because, you know, why not? Why not? So, and this dip really, y'all, is like a whole meal. I mean, it's got, with all the chicken and everything in it, it's very filling. So, just saying. And then you can just serve it with whatever kind of chips or whatever you want to. So, I just took a little handful of cheese, like I said, and just sprinkled it right over the top. And again, if you're not a huge fan of cheese, I don't know what's wrong with you. That's my question. But if you're not, then you don't have to add cheese to the top of these if you don't want to. So we're going to put that in the oven, 400 degrees, for about 25 to 30 minutes. And that's it. We're just warming it through, and we're heating, you know, letting our cheese melt. Y'all, I'm telling you, these dips, you got to make these. You got to make them. Okay, so the last dip that we're going to make today is going to be a cold dip. We're going to make a corn dip. So what you're going to need is 2 cans of Mexicorn, or Mexican corn, or however it says it on your can. It's just the corn that has the little peppers and stuff. And then you're going to need 1 can of Rotel. Make sure that you drain your corn and your Rotel very, very well, because you don't want this to be watery. Okay, because this is not one we're baking, so we don't want it to be super wet. Okay, you know, we don't want it to be runny. There's the word I was looking for. You don't want a runny dip. So then we're going to add in to our corn and tomatoes, we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise and 1/2 cup of sour cream. And you're just going to, you know, just, again, if you want to substitute Greek yogurt, I'm sure it will be just fine. Do whatever your little heart desires. So then I chopped up 1 bunch of green onions. Just chop them up into little small pieces. Y'all, whew, I love a green onion. And these had a little bite to them, so I wasn't mad at it. Okay, so then we're going to add our cheese, because again, what is a dip without cheese? So we're going to add in 3 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And again, if you have a different kind of cheese, you know, that you need to use up, just feel free to use it up if you want to. But again, I don't think I would use mozzarella in this. But if you have a Colby Jack or something like that, sharp, mild, medium, whatever, it'll work just fine. So you're going to mix this up real good, and then, you know, it's football, so I called an audible and added a little bit more cheese, you know, because what do I always say? I probably done said it 20 times in this video. You can't have too much cheese. So then what we're going to do with this one, because it's a cold dip, I just covered it up, set it in the refrigerator for about an hour, and that's all you have to do. This dip is made. Y'all, these dips are so doggone easy. You could even add, if you wanted to, you could add some bacon, you could add some jalapenos, you know, whatever your taste, you can add it. And now I just served our artichoke, spinach and artichoke dip. I served that with some pita chips, and the other two I just served with Fritos. And y'all, I am telling you, they are so doggone good. I mean, you really could make a meal out of these, especially the one that has all the chicken in it. So if you're looking for some really good dips for your football games, or even if you're not a football fan and you just really like dip, then honey, make you one of these. You will not be disappointed. But look, y'all, if y'all have any dips that I need to make, drop them down in the comments, because, you know, I can always make another dip video. All right, y'all, that's all I got for you today. I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.